as asked of us by town council. I'm gonna go ahead and just read this into the record. This meeting of the Burlington Select Board will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public will members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on the agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. Okay, first up, 6:48, citizens' time. Is there anybody in the room who would like to step forward for citizens' time? Mr. Boydman, come on down. For the record, just please introduce yourself into the microphone, and you've got 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, others that are present here. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. I'm here representing tonight the Yes CPA Burlington Committee, and particularly to address a townwide mailing that was recently mailed out to everyone, or at least every voting address in town. And it had in it two statements, one pro and one con, the ballot question number 5 coming up in the November ballot regarding bringing the Community Preservation Act to Burlington. We had particular issues with the con statement being inaccurate. We had 3 issues with that statement, and I'll list them in order of importance with the most important one first. The statement that they provided said, quote, CPA restricts spending on any of our existing parks and the landlocked forest since it was not bought with CPA money. That is complete falsehood. There was an amendment to the CPA, the act itself in 2012, that corrected that interpretation to make it clear that it does indeed allow expenditures on existing pre-CPA purchased properties and recreation. And it says, respect to land.
Can I speak?
I'm sorry, but this person has the floor, so if you'd like to speak, you can raise your hand afterwards. Thank you.
That modification to the act says, with respect to land for recreational use, rehabilitation shall include the replacement of playground equipment and other capital improvements to the land or the facilities thereon, which make the land or related facilities more functional for the intended recreational use. There's no mention of whether it was purchased or not purchased by CPA funds. That's not part of the requirement. The second problem that we had with this con statement was it had no signature. There's no it's not attributed to any person or organization. To me, that implies, and we've interpreted that, that the writer, it could be interpreted that the writer of that then is the town of Burlington, because the town sent this out without a signature, using taxpayers' money. So to me, and talking to the Community Preservation Coalition, they agreed that that was the implication, and that even suggested that we talk to the Attorney General's office as they oversee state elections to get an interpretation. We haven't done that, and hopefully we won't have to do that. And the third problem that we had with it was that it says CPA will effectively raise your tax bill by 1.5%. That's the surtax, the way it's listed in the bill, but with the $100,000 exemption, nobody will actually be paying 1.5%. It'll be some fraction less than that after the exemption is included into the calculations. So anonymous misinformation is a major problem today. We see it all the time, and it's always, methods that are being used to interfere with all kinds of issues. The pro statement is signed by an officially registered public organization, the Yes CPA Burlington Committee, that has a chair and a treasurer listed on record. The con statement is inaccurate and without further signature can only be attributed to the sender, the town of Burlington. The pro statement underwent repeated back and forth with town council. Okay, I'm sorry, but
That's okay.
I would just like to finish by saying we request some kind of correction be made by the town, preferably another town-wide mailing to make sure that this does get corrected. Thank you.
Absolutely. I do know that we are looking into that, so
Yes.
we'll have an answer for you soon.
Okay,
All right?
all right, so,
All right.
thank you for letting me get that on the record.
Yes. Is there anybody else in the room who would like to speak for citizens?
Yes, I want to speak.
I said, excuse me.
Sure.
Either you're gonna respect this space, or you're gonna be asked to leave. I will not say it a second time.
Okay, I'm respecting the space. Can I speak?
No, you're shouting, and I don't appreciate it. I will recognize you when the time comes. If it happens again, I'm gonna ask you respectfully to leave.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the room who'd like to speak for citizens' time?
Yes, me.
One more time. Anybody else physically in the room who would like to speak for citizens' time? Okay. Turning to the web, online.
Online.
I see.
I see your hand up. Please identify yourself for the room, and then you have 3 minutes.
George Bassler. What's up, y'all? Hey, Nick. I have free speech here. I can swear and do whatever I want. So don't tell me what I can say and not say. Okay, thank you. I want to comment on this guy. You're interrupting my time.
No, I'll recognize the time that I'm taking back.
Okay, good.
Please rest assured that I'm the chair of this board, and whether
So?
it's free speech, I do not have to recognize people should I choose not to.
Actually, you do.
Please recognize the fact.
We're the member of the public.
Show a little bit of respect.
Yeah, you do have to recognize us. We're the public, bro.
Mr. Bassler,
Talk to your attorney. Talk to your attorney.
Would you like to be recognized or not?
Yes. I want to speak. 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. That's very calm. See, it's that easy. I don't know what your deal is, man. You're too crazy. So, this gentleman that spoke before us is failing to recognize and alleging all kinds of allegations against the town of Burlington. There's committees for all this. Historical Committee, Burlington Housing Committee, Partnership Committee, all this crazy shit that's going on. What are they doing? Runyon? What are they doing? Right? I still have a few minutes left. Where's the clock anyways? Do we have a clock?
Yep, it's right here. You're currently at 45 seconds expired.
All right. So we got about 2 minutes left. So that guy is getting online here in a public forum trying to perpetuate more BS, more propaganda in support of CPA. Tell me, what is another committee going to do? Another Burlington committee, right? Another level of government, sucking more money out of the taxpayers. What are they going to do to better the town? What has the Burlington Partnership Committee done besides ban and block everybody from speaking opposing them? Tell me that, Nick. Go ahead. You can answer.
Mr. Bassler, you currently have used 1 minute and 28 seconds. Would you like to continue?
No, I want you to answer that. This is a public forum. You're
This is-
required to
this is
answer
fine.
if you want.
Mr. Bassler, let me be very clear. If currently residing in Florida, you haven't read the new guidelines or.
Well, actually, I'm not currently. I'm in Burlington, actually. By the way, at the Marriott. If you want to come down and have dinner, come down tonight at 5. We can have dinner. So
No,
I'm not in Florida anymore. So
I-
stop assuming things and
I
stop
gotta be
wasting my
honest.
public time.
I paused the clock, so you'll have your time.
All right.
Just to be clear though.
Stop assuming things you don't know.
I do miss having you here though. If you wanted to.
No,
be in
you don't
person,
miss me
there's
having me.
about
I want you to
40
answer my
people
question. What are the new committees going to do?
here. Mr. Bassler, this time is for you to speak, not for me to respond.
Yeah.
As per the guidelines that were set forth at the beginning of my.
There is no guidelines, bro. This is the time for me to ask you questions, the public to ask you questions, and you to
That's not what
respond.
this time is for.
Okay. Or is that a new rule? You're making that up now?
I'm not making anything up. If you'd like to pose a question and have us get back to you, we're happy to do that.
I just
I'm not
posed
gonna
about 10
respond right
questions. I just posed about 10 questions, man.
now. Great. So we'll review the footage and we'll respond back to you. But as of right now, I'm giving you
okay.
your time.
All right.
I'm not
So what-
required by any law to give you an answer this exact moment.
I don't, dude, come on, man. Listen, how many seconds I got left?
Like I said, you're currently at 1:28.
So what I got about a minute,
About a minute and a
56
half.
seconds. Yeah.
Halfway through.
All right. So this CPA BS, which I'm allowed to say, is it's just crazy. I mean, dude, you selectmen getting on record and voting for this stuff is just insanity. Every one of you guys are in control of the purses in town, right? Nick and the Ways and Means, and you all get behind them and say, "Oh, we'll support CPA because we want to direct more funds to specific tasks, right? Why don't you guys just make the decision to do so? Do you have an answer to that, Nick? You can answer. Feel free.
Oh,
I'll
I
get-
know I'm capable of answering you, George. I'm choosing not to. You're currently.
I see. So you guys just want to create another committee for bullshit reasons, take another $1 million, $2 million in tax money, so-called matching, saying we can match anyways, and just do nothing about it, right? That's your plan? Yeah. All right, I'm done here, man. I just want to listen to the rest of the meeting in peace. But Nick, you gotta wake up, bro. And you too, Espeo. Wake up. I love Sagarino. He's a great guy, even though he talks funny. I love the guy. All right. All right. Peace. Bye.
Okay. Is there anybody else online who would like to speak for citizens time? Okay, seeing none, we're gonna move on. 649, appointment fire chief. Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the board members. Thank you to all the members of the department that came here tonight for this agenda item. As the board is aware, our Fire Chief Mike Patterson has informed us of his intention to retire at the end of this calendar year. Although we are sorry to see him go, we wish him the best for a well-deserved retirement after an outstanding career with the department. There will be plenty of time in the upcoming months for us to salute Chief Patterson for his accomplishments, but tonight's agenda item is focused on our next fire chief. At our last meeting, I informed the board that my choice to be the next fire chief in Burlington is Assistant Chief Andrew Conity. Andy was born and raised in Burlington as a graduate of Burlington High School. He's been with the department for close to 29 years, joining the department as a dispatcher back in 1993. Andrew became a firefighter EMT in November of 1995 for a period of about 8 years before being promoted to lieutenant in 2003. After another 8 years spent as lieutenant, Andy was promoted to captain in July of 2011, where he spent time as both the training captain and as a shift commander until being appointed as assistant chief in January of 2020. Since that time, we have been able to work very closely with Andy on a variety of issues, big and small, and we have come away thoroughly impressed with his intelligence, thoughtfulness, and his leadership skills. Andy has a bachelor's degree in fire science administration from Waldorf College. He is a graduate of the Mass Firefighting Academy's Chief Fire Officer Management Training Program. Andy is an appointed member of the Massachusetts Fire Training Council and is an accredited Massachusetts fire chief. Andy's a son of Donald and Frances Conity, who unfortunately have both passed on. His parents established roots in Burlington in 1969. He's the youngest of 6 children, including a sister and 5 brothers, who all graduated from Burlington High School. Public service ran in Andy's family. His mom, Frances, was a secretary at Burlington High School. And his father, Don, was a Cambridge firefighter, who also spent some time working as a van driver for the Council on Aging in his retirement years. Andy and his wife, Rachel, are the parents of 5 children, 2 girls and 3 boys. Rachel's also a public servant and works as a teacher in Westford. With that introduction, Mr. Chairman, I'm ready to make the appointment, and this would be effective as of the date of the Chief Patterson's retirement, which is currently scheduled to be January 9, 2023. Okay, so I wish to appoint Andrew Conity to the position of Fire Chief in the Burlington Fire Department and ask that the board waive its 15-day waiting period.
So moved. Second. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? 500. I'll say, Andy, you wanna hold, we'll do a couple pictures real quick? Sure. I know you're in love with that idea.
Loving that, yeah, sure.
Andy, calm down, will you?
You're excited.
Kidding me? He's like a sweat ball in it.
Jimmy.
Sean, could you send a couple? B-Cat's gonna ask me tomorrow. Thank you.
Give a minute for the room to clear.
Just so the board is aware, Andy's wife had work this evening, so it wasn't a big family event for him, but we'll plan a swearing-in ceremony with the town clerk, so we can have some more formality and pictures with family, et cetera, at a future date.
Awesome. That's
Great.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wonderful. All right, keeping this train moving. We're gonna head to 6:50, election warrant for November. Amy?
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you all. So once again, I need to have you, as the board, the select board, sign the warrant so that we can have an election. This election will be on November, I'm drawing a blank, November 8th. And also, we will continue to have the kind of three methods of voting. People will be able to, and we do have currently about over 4,000 requests for vote by mail ballots. Then starting on October 22nd through November 4th, we will have in-person voting. And due to Grandview Farm being busy, we are going to use the hearing room again like we did 8 years ago for the in-person early voting. And then for those traditionalists that like to come on November 8th, we will have the polls open from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. on the 8th.
Okay. Gentlemen, any questions?
Done here.
Okay.
Just a quick comment.
Yeah.
Amy, you do a great job with all this every year for us, so I don't see why it's gonna be any different.
Well, thank you.
So,
It does take a
and I
big
do
team effort.
expect the same type of work that you've been doing for all these years.
Okay. It does take a big team effort. My staff
does.
has already been working hard to handle all the mail stuff. The selectman's office helps us with getting postage and that type of stuff done. And then we use about 70 people the day of the election and early voting for handling the voters too. So it's not just me, but it's a big team.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. All right, well, gentlemen, if there are no other questions or comments,
Make a motion to approve the election warrant for November 8th.
Second?
a motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? 500.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Amy.
Amy.
Just real quick, because I hear a baby perhaps, or a little one running around. What are you folks here for? Okay, let's take you guys out of order so you guys can
can't.
get in, what?
Public hearing. Yep.
Oh, they're a
Should be
public
fine.
hearing.
It's on or after 6. We,
After 6? Okay, so we can
the
do it.
advertisement's on or after 6, so we
Perfect.
can start up at any time on
Then
that.
let's, yeah, so why don't you guys come forward? let's take you out of order so we can have you seated and get you home. There's nothing worse than sitting here with kids. So, yeah, please. So just real quick, so that we're following everything, I'm gonna go ahead and open the public hearing. I just need someone to make a motion to approve the notice as it was advertised.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? 500. Okay, it is open. Please grab a seat, identify yourselves, and let's get this party started.
All right, thank you very much. Chairman, members of the board, town administrator. My name is Attorney Courtney Ball. I represent Aisha Jinwala Inc., which runs the restaurant known as Alameda Cuisine at Cambridge Street, 184 Cambridge Street. So we're here today for a change of manager and a change of officers and directors of the corporation and issuance of stock, change of stock ownership. So essentially, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I completely understand.
Sarfaraz Jinwala is currently the manager of record, and we would like to appoint his sister, Asma Banu Jinwala, and she would be the president of the corporation. She would have president and director of corporation. She would have a 45% ownership interest. Her husband, Momad Shahid Sheikh, would be the treasurer of the corporation. He would also have a 45% ownership interest. And Sarfaraz would have a 10% interest, and he would be the vice president and the secretary of the corporation. This would allow a kind of a transfer of the running of the restaurant to Asma Banu and her husband, and Sarfaraz would still have the ability to oversee as the vice president, and of course he would be in charge of the corporate formalities as the secretary of the corporation. You know, they've run a restaurant for several years now without incident, and made a successful restaurant where there had been some turnover in the past. And Sarfaraz has also expanded across the street with Halal Eats, which is a lovely spot as well. Very delicious food, both places. And you know, they understand the rights of a licensee, especially with respect to alcoholic beverages, being a privilege granted by the town and not being a right. Everybody would be tip certified, and they're certainly following the procedures in the town and the procedures of the ABCC. So we would be happy to answer any questions that you might have, and we look for approval for the three items: manager of record, change of officers and directors, and the issuance of stock.
Okay. First to staff, Paul, Lynn, anything that you want to add, or we're all set with?
All the paperwork's in order, Mr. Chairman.
Perfect. All right. Gentlemen, questions, comments?
Yeah, subcommittee
Oh,
have an
sorry.
opportunity to?
Yeah, was it, no?
No subcommittee on it. There was no subcommittee on this, before, so it's just a basic change of manager, and basically it's like all the other restaurants when they change corporations and companies and stuff like that, except for it's individuals this time. Nothing really. My biggest question is gonna be, do you want us to do all three of these at once or separately?
You have a preference?
All at
All
once?
once, fine.
So, wait till if there's any more questions to be asked.
All right, anything else from you, Jim?
Just wanted to say, my wife and I love both places. Just keep up the good work.
Thank you, thank you, sir.
Mike, anything?
No.
Mike, anything?
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Seeing as this, yeah,
Public hearing.
I was gonna say, seeing as this is a public hearing, is there anybody who wishes to speak on the matter? Oh, is that a new hand? I didn't know he took his hand down. So, Mr. Batchelor, this is a new, you're putting your hand back up?
Yeah. Can I speak?
You can.
I'll be nice, man. But you be nice too. All right? Let's make a deal. And Tiggs, what are you doing over there? You're not doing shit.
Okay, that's a nice.
All right, I'll be nice.
That's a nice
Okay,
notice,
let me be
let
nice.
alone not on task.
I'm sorry. I'll be
That's your
nice.
one warning.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the warning. Y'all are giving billions to corporate America, selling out these small companies. Do you know how many small home family businesses are for sale online in Burlington? Have you checked that?
Sorry, George, what does that have to do with what's in front of us right now?
There's a company requesting more licenses and stuff like this. So have you checked?
That's not what's happening at all right now.
All right. So what's happening? Tell me. I got 3 minutes.
If you had been paying attention for the last 10 minutes, they're looking for a change of manager, a change of officers director, as well
Why?
as an issuance transfer of stock, new stock, because they're changing.
Why? No, Nick. You got to tell the public the whole truth. Listen, I got 3 minutes. How many seconds I got left? You got to tell the public the whole truth. How these businesses transfer licenses and ownership because they're not sustainable with the banks. Tell the truth. In Burlington.
Sorry, George, if you're not going to speak coherently, then I'm going to ask you to stop.
No, it's coherent. I'm pretty sure it's coherent.
No, you're making great assumptions about a business.
No, I'm not making any assumptions. It's the fact. I can tell you right now, 3 businesses are for sale that have been in town for over 30 years.
And what does that have to do with this particular public
Well,
hearing?
that has to do with each one of you all trying to protect them. That's what it has to do with.
To protect. Okay, George, thank you very much. Please put yourself on mute. Okay.
All right.
And,
All right.
and I appreciate you.
Hey, listen, I go by the rules.
This time as it's a public hearing. Okay.
Make a motion to
Seeing
close
none-
the public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor to close the public hearing? Aye. Opposed? Abstain. 500 to close the public hearing. With the public hearing closed, does anybody else on the board wish to make a comment or ask any further questions, discussion, etc.?
I'll make a motion to approve change of manager, change of officers, directors, LLC manager, insurance transfers, and stocks and new stockholders.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded for all three. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. 500.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Hope to see you down at the restaurant someday.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, circling back around, 651, we got Drake Road Conservation Land.
That's going to be postponed, Mr. Chairman, to a future meeting.
Okay? Taking us to 652, employee health insurance rates. Mr. Giannino.
Good evening to the chair and the members of the board. This evening, I have with me our Benefits Administrator, Christine Sinicola. We're here to discuss health insurance, the proposed rates for the calendar year 2023. We've had a few meetings with the Insurance Advisory Committee, which is made up of different departments within the town, and we came to a conclusion as to what we would recommend. First, I should tell you, there are no changes to the existing plans. We're continuing with the same plans, same coverage. The advisory committee took a unanimous in our agreement to request a 4% increase to the Blue Care Elect PPO, a 4% increase to the Blue Cross HMO Blue, and a 4% increase to the Harvard Pilgrim Best Buy. The HSA plan, which we introduced 3 years ago, thank you, Christine, we're recommending a 0 increase. These are for the active employees currently.
Okay. Gentlemen, questions, comments? Start with Mr. Espaillo.
No questions, Mr. Chairman?
Okay.
Oh, sure.
No?
Thank you.
I just want to say, I think this is several consecutive years now where our increase has been below the statewide averages, and the, larger insurance groups, the GSA, whatever the heck it is, the other one there, whatever you're doing, and I know you're working very closely with the different bargaining groups, so on and so forth, and I know you put in a whole heck of a lot of time on this. It's no easy task to manage this. So I want to applaud you for your ability year over year to keep these increases at a very modest level here for the town of Burlington. I will ask you one question, though. Have you looked at other plans? Did you give them any others consideration? Or are we satisfied with the four major plans that we offer currently?
We did look at, on the outside, the GIC program, and determined that our program was, for the cost and the benefit, these plans were, we thought, in good shape to stay with us versus trying to move on. We are self-insured, so some of it, last year we had a 0% increase across the board. We're happy with that. Last year, costs have moved up and down. Christine will attest to the fact some months where we've hit some very high numbers. It's been sort of a roller coaster the last year, 2 years. So as we look at things, we go back to 2019, pre-COVID, and start looking at some of the claims. And they've moved up probably over 100,000 to 200,000 per month in average over that time. But we've had enough savings to take that in consideration. We think 4%. You're right, it's below inflation, it's below some of the other costs. The carriers were recommending 7%?
Yeah, between 9 to 10% on average.
They recommended probably 6% last year, but our claims have been less than that. So we're very comfortable with maintaining that. There's no sense of, we're not in it for the profit, as maybe some of these other companies are. So being self-insured. And Christine monitors the costs, the claims on a monthly basis. We have our stop-loss insurance, which protects us from the upside when, unfortunately, there are cases that have reached that number. We do anticipate an increase in that area of the insurance this year. We won't have that until probably November, December.
And how about the trust fund that you've been investing with, still the PRIT program there? Or what
We're trying to move that over to the PRIM right now. That's with Rockland Investments, the Rockland Bank. But we're looking into moving that over to the PRIM if we can.
Still a healthy balance there?
Yes, yes. That has not, in my 2 years, we've not touched it. So it's, we're working with our liquid balances, and still, we did eat into some of that this year, but we still think we are in good shape.
Great, good news.
Yes.
Thank you.
You good, Jim? Okay. I think I ask this every year, so I apologize. Have we looked into offering, like, I'll call them ancillary programs, like gym memberships or mental health counseling, just external services that employees might want to partake in? And if we have, would that drive cost up in any way?
Well, we have, the Blue Cross offers some reimbursement for fitness clubs.
So does Harvard.
So does Harvard.
Yep.
We have an employee assistance program where someone can call up and get help, and I've recommended a few people to utilize that service. It's something that's available to the employees, but people sometimes don't use, and it's just not for health. It's for budgeting. It's a wide array of things that can help you. We're looking at some other programs. We've had some brief discussion, and next year, I hope to be able to recommend a 529 plan, a savings plan for especially people with younger children that could utilize that as a savings. All we would be is the saving conduit. We would withhold it from the pay and put it into that. So we're looking at that as probably a new program. But you have the health fair coming up.
Yep, we have the health fair on Wednesday, October 26th. This will be the first year we're having it in 3 years, so we're excited about that. We're also going to be offering hopefully some wellness type of things. I have a nutritionist there. We're hoping to offer massage. So we're trying to really build up a more robust wellness initiative. So we have walking challenges and We haven't done really any eating challenges, but mainly walking and hydration have been the couple things that we focused on as well.
Awesome. Great. All right, well, gentlemen, if there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, Paul, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to reiterate sort of what Mike said. Kudos to Gary, Christine, and their entire team. We have a vibrant group of employees that assist us in making these decisions. Everybody's working together for the betterment of the entire town. And the challenge over the past couple of years has been even more immense. If you think of the pandemic, for a year, nobody went to the hospital. Nobody got services done. Nobody had surgery. And then once the hospitals opened up again, now everybody's rushing to get caught up on all the important things they needed done. So trying to track the numbers has been really difficult for these guys. The past couple of years, we think we're at a point where we're sort of leveling off back to normal hospital type use. But again, they've really done a tremendous job over the past couple of years. It's been really tricky times to manage this program. So kudos to Gary, Christine, and everybody involved on the committee. Thank you.
Absolutely. Gary?
We would like a vote on the active employees, then we'll discuss the retirees, which is another
Yes.
positive.
All right, so gentlemen, if there's nothing else, we'll entertain a motion on the active employees.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. All right, it's 5-0-0 for the active.
Thank you. Thank you, the
Thank you.
board. As to the retirees, we have 5 plans, and I think we're happy to say that the increases are in line and below in some case. The Blue Cross MedX is a 0.8% increase. Blue Cross Managed Blue 0.3. Harvard Medicare Advance is at 4.1. Tufts Preferred HMO came in at 4%.
Yep.
And the Tufts Preferred Supplement. We're still waiting, but we think
We think it's gonna be about 1%, actually, it's gonna be much lower than we thought.
those are our positives. Christine was really concerned about that about a month and a half ago, and she kept pounding people to get us the numbers, so we were happy when they did come in, because we were concerned those were really gonna jump up, so we would request the board approve these rates. We don't set them, they're set by the insurance company.
All right, Paul, anything you want to add here?
No, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Gentlemen, any questions, comments?
No.
Okay. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion for the retirees.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. 5-0-0.
Again, thank you to the board, and have a good night.
You too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Christine, thanks so much. All right, 6:53, we got Town Center Beer Garden. Paul, are you handling this?
Yes. Just a quick one, Mr. Chairman. When Melissa came before you to set the dates for the Town Center Beer Gardens, we did not set a rain date at that time, and unfortunately, on September 22nd, the weather called for cancellation, which was rescheduled to October 6th, which is this Thursday, which is the last of these placemaking events for this year. And we just wanted to tidy up the paperwork and get the board's permission for October 6th. Again, that was rescheduled from 9/22. I think we'll put in for some rain dates next year so that we don't have to tidy this up at the board meeting. Thank you.
How's the weather looking for the 6th? Anybody check?
It's looking great.
Look good.
It's looking to be like in the 70s during the day, so that's the first thing we check on Monday morning is
What's gonna be?
Thursday's weather, so.
I'd say just so far, the events have been so well attended. I mean, I know when Melissa was first talking about this, that we were hemming and hawing over Thursdays. But I mean, the crowds have been phenomenal, so. Gentlemen, any questions or comments before you?
Just a quick comment. It's been a win for the residents. It's been a win for the businesses down there. And I know I actually talked to a couple of the business owners, and they said that they're busier than ever on that night than on those nights, so.
That's great. That's great to hear.
And even via just Citron, the first night, Trin mentioned that she's getting a whole new set of customers that never knew about them across town. So she was very happy with her participation in it.
Awesome.
And the dogs like it.
Yeah, they do.
The dogs love
Yeah.
it. All right, if there's nothing else, then I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the rain date for the beer garden to October sixth, 2022.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? 500. Checks the box on that one. Next up, 654, we've got the Leahy Health 5K. Folks, come on down. It's been a fun night so far. Let's keep it going.
So,
Go ahead, folks, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. My name's David Grelk. I work for a company called Conventures, who's helping with logistics to put on the 5K road race, run and walk. So we're looking for permission to put on the Leahy Cancer Institute 5K run and walk next in 2023 on Sunday, June 11th. So this 5K last happened in person back in 2019. We've done it virtually for a few years now and looking to bring it back in person. The location of the event would be at the hospital campus in one of the parking lots. Our course would go from the hospital out onto Burlington Mall Road, then take a left onto District Ave, go up District Ave and back onto Burlington Mall Road up to South Bedford Street, South Bedford Street, then right onto Kimball Ave and back into the parking lots. As far as our event site plan, we would bring in some tents that would come through peak. We would put those in the day before on Saturday, and peak would then pull building permits that are required. We would then have registration the morning of the event starting at 6:45 a.m. with an 8 a.m. Kickoff time for the 5K. Following the 5K, we would have a short awards program. Sorry, let me back up a second. Prior to the 5K, we'd have a short speaking program leading up to the start. Would very much like it if one of you could attend and say something on behalf of the town. And then everything pretty much wrapped up by 11 a.m. I would say the roads would be able to reopen no later than 10:30.
I'm sorry, the date for this again was June 11th?
Correct.
Next year.
Yes, 2020. Good gravy. Paul, anything from you on this?
No, Mr. Chairman, so this was a regular event several years ago, leading up to the pandemic, well-attended, and to my knowledge, there hasn't been any issues with the setup of the event in the past, so.
Okay. Gentlemen, questions? Jim, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't think it was this particular race, but there was a 5K or some other event that started music really early and upset a couple of the residents. Do you plan on having like music before the race or something in the morning?
Yeah, we would look to do kind of just a playlist coming from the speakers at the event site, anything that's within the noise ordinance for the area. So it would work in coordination with that, but nothing blasting,
Yeah,
not a concert, not live music or anything like
I
that.
think it was resolved, so to speak, when they faced the speakers to 128, and that way the nearby residents didn't get impacted by it, but that's good.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but notice over the weekend that their map includes it going around the Bay Bank Tower. We have a Bay Bank Tower, since been renamed long ago, but I haven't heard that in a while. It's always been, I've spoken at the event a couple of times. Sometimes it's at the high school, sometimes it's at the parking lot, at the hospital. Amazing turnout, amazing number of sponsors that you're able to attract to this event. So, yeah, wish you nothing but the best in June.
Joe, anything?
No, this is a good event. This is the one you used to have down the high school, right?
Correct.
So that's where Jimmy's getting that, that's where that came from, because at the high school, and those residents in that area complained that the music had started early in the morning, and that's where it happened. But this is gonna start up at Lake Clinic at your parking lot, and go down the Mall Road, back around through the district, and then come back out again, right? So I don't think we'll have the same type of a setup, because there's not too many residents on that side. Just to clarify that, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great event.
Yeah. Mike?
No, great event, glad to see it back and wish you the best of luck and nice weather. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Everything else seems in order. I have no questions. I agree with the board. It's a fantastic event. I'm glad that you guys are doing it again. Finally starting to shake through the pandemic a little bit and get back to normal, which is great. Gentlemen, if there are no other further questions or comments, entertain a motion.
Just one other thing, but perhaps sometime prior to the event, a couple of weeks ahead of time, before maybe you come back and revisit us, or at least correspond with staff or something, just to let us know everything is, just to refresh our memory, especially mine.
Okay.
Especially.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion of approval for the Leahy 5K road race as advertised in the map here.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. 5-0-0. We'll see you June 11th.
Did she just come from Walsaport?
She did.
Yep.
Folks, have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
very
night.
much.
All right, 6:56, Town Common Policy. This is discussion. I believe the goal here is to discuss any further feedback we have on this policy and then bring it back at the next meeting for a considered vote. So gentlemen, any comments, questions, concerns?
I do have a question.
Jen?
In this policy, it says that we provide one portable toilet. That's something we started this year, I think, right?
Yes.
And that's, so, is that gonna be a year-round?
I think it's through October.
Okay, should we specify that, though? It's only gonna be there,
We can let folks know when they apply to use the common, whether or not it's available or not. But as of right now, that's the schedule that Brendan has the parks on as well. So we would have a porta potty, accessible porta potty there during normal outside use times, to be removed in the winter.
yeah, because the reason I ask is there are a couple events in December and in the winter that I just don't want them to say, oh, there's gonna be a toilet there, and there's not a toilet.
Right.
Yeah, if you think that there's language that you think would clarify that, by all means, we'll look to clarify that part of it. Note on that.
That's it, that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Jen. Gentlemen, anything else?
I kind of like the abbreviated version. I sort of looked it over during the weekend. Nothing's jumping out at me.
Okay. Joe, anything?
No, I don't think anything's jumping out, but I do like the idea that we could possibly have two events at the same time on the common. I like that. It's a very, very big common. Some of the events are very small, some of them are a little bit bigger. As we all know, we went to the festival a couple of weeks ago for Diwali, and it was great. But, I mean, there's still plenty of room in that common for a smaller group to get together. That's part of this town that I love so much, is that common. It's so pretty and nice up there that we can have more than just one event up there at a time. So, yeah, no, there's a couple of things I'll go over with you later. Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'll just remind everybody that, I mean, read through it again and, submit your comments to Paul as they come up, and we can take a look at them and have town council address. Mike, anything?
No, just glad we're clarifying the policy, and I love to see when people use the common. It's kind of our iconic outdoor space in town, and the ones we got already were kind of creative. I love to see the baby shower, whatever. I love to see people get creative, so I'm glad we're kind of taking a look at it and kind of putting everything down in stone, and everything looks good to me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Okay, there's no further discussion, then we can move on from this item. And like I said, if anything else comes up between now and the next meeting, just submit it to Paul and Lynn, and we'll have it reviewed by town council. All right, 6:57, subcommittee reports. Joe, you want to go first?
Sure.
I don't want to forget you this time.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for that. No, nothing really to report. Today was the first day of hunting season at the landlocked forest and the state of Massachusetts for archery, so just be aware that I do mention it every single time, and I always will, just to keep the residents aware that there are archers up there hunting from an elevated platform. So other than that, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mike?
I just want to mention that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Sahili was out in the town common with members of our police department doing the purple tree lighting, and that was an event to honor survivors, remember victims of domestic violence. That's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mike. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Town comment discussion sort of made me think. I noticed that the Burlington Garden Club has been out on the common recently. They changed over the planters to their fall colors, and it looks wonderful. They've been doing this for years. Very little fanfare involved with it. They just get out and do what they have to do. And just God bless them for the work that they do.
Yeah. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sculpture Park Committee will be meeting again this week. I did ask the,
Sculpture Park sucks.
I'm sorry, Mr. Batchelor, I'm sorry. No. You do not get to interrupt my meeting. Lynn, please mute him and/or remove him from the room.
Sorry.
Jim, go ahead.
Sculpture Park Committee will be meeting again this week. I have asked the, Ms. LaRue to attend a future meeting here at one of our upcoming meetings to seek approval for temporary signage to be put in the common during town-sponsored events only.
Remove him from the meeting, please.
Because at that time, during town events, like Truck Day or whatnot, there's already a lot of signs on the common. Just a couple of signs to let people know that this sculpture park is there, just so they'll, visit it maybe. And the other thing I was thinking about is Chief Brown is relatively new as the police chief. We just appointed a new fire chief tonight, and we're gonna be appointing a new director of the DPW. What spawned this thought was that what happened in Florida, the Hurricane Ian, is I wanted to see how we are prepared for a disaster. So with all new, with
I lost fucking $3 million in Florida just now.
with the newer department heads on board, I'd just like to see where we are as far as that goes. I know the last time we did something like this, technology has changed, we've got new buildings, we've got new department heads, so I just wanted to see where the town stands as far as disaster preparedness. And that's it for me.
Thanks, Jim. Chairman report, I'll keep this short. We haven't heard from them in a while, Transportation Committee, but they are gearing up their final report to be presented to us, I believe if not on the 24th, then in November. But they're working on it, just as a heads up. Yeah, that's it for me. Paul, Town Administrator's report?
Just a couple quick ones, Mr. Chairman. I know we talked at our last meeting about the new Public Works garage being open. Public Works is planning a public viewing on October 15th from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. That's Saturday, to 1 o'clock p.m. For any members of the public or any other interested party that wants to come down and take a tour, they feel as though they'll be fully moved in by that date. And so I just wanted to get that out there. I know we talked about it at the last meeting. And on October 24th, it's been confirmed that Mass Highway will be out to our board meeting to present to the board what their plans are for 3A. And that's all I have for right now, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Paul.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. 5-0-0. Good night, everybody.